that 2-0 at the analyst desk.
Thank you, gentlemen. Crepo hit on it right there. The Anivia pick, throwing Flash Wolves, kind of for a loop here, 2 games in a row. Let's talk about that a little bit, Yamato.
I feel like my first initial thought was that on paper, it doesn't seem like Anivia would be a good pick into this Malphite composition that kind of just explodes. But it's working out simply because Flash Wolves keeps getting walled off in positions that they're not supposed to be in. But even then, like, I'm kind of expecting that Anivia ban because Flash Wolves has shown no signs of knowing how to play against an Anivia.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the thing that it is dictating the pace on is when the Flash Wolves are trying to help their side lanes because they have such a strong mid laner in Maple and Casa does stay around that part of the map. But then they cannot get to the side lanes quick enough because Anivia is walling them off, taking turrets as soon as they move to that. She's able to pressure blue buff. It's just throwing Maple through this loop. And I think that he's the one that's starting to really get affected by it because he never seems to know which way to go around the wall.
And that's really how Origen's taking this win. And we criticize them for being a little too slow. But in the end, they're doing the right things. They're out-rotating Flash Wolves. They're getting a lot of free objectives. And sure, it could have been done faster, but they're not losing a lot in exchange. They slipped up a couple times here, giving up the tier 2 middle and some towers in the side lanes. But for the most part, they're moving across the map correctly. And with the Anivia pick, as you mentioned, they can really stall a lot of time. And I think it also has a bit of a psychological aspect in the sense that when you're the Malphite, do you go for the Anivia? Because you're not going to be able to one-shot her in that exact same burst with the Victor and get her out of the fight immediately. With the Lulu shields and all that, it becomes a whole conundrum. And it's something that, since Anivia is so weird of a pick, I don't think the Flash Wolves are reacting well.
There's Flash Wolves just now, probably discussing what they need to do to turn things around in Game 3. Now, I want to get into the game a little bit. As you mentioned, these games have been going long, but the side lanes for Origen this time around had huge advantages pretty early in the game, whereas before we had to see 4 kills to net a 2K advantage. It was a 2K advantage based solely off of farm and a turret. And I feel as though Flash Wolves is benefiting from the fact that Origen is not closing it out for so long that they're able to win a few fights late game, but still making too many mistakes to really turn anything around.
It's like...
sorry. Let's give credit where credit's due. Like, LPL is a region that has always been known for great AD carries. Niels' Kalista is like... I think you called it like watching like a dancer move around the map. This guy was 106 CS at like 11 minutes in the game. I think he dropped like 7 CS during a laning phase. He is like amazing to watch play this champion, and his damage output, like the amount he ekes out of it, is just, it's phenomenal.
It's like something that I wanted to touch on is I want Flash Wolves to come into the game with the approach to lane swap because it will isolate the mid lane, make sure it's 1v1, and it will, like, this lane will not get affected by the other matchups, and that's what I think Flash Wolves will have the strength because on their sides, I feel like they are weaker and losing a lot of pressure.
Though I think the problem with going that, although the approach is correct, the way that we've seen these two teams play out is very passive, and they have a very weird idea as to how to get these objectives and which priorities to go for. So there's been very late dragons. So for example, that one game that we just had, Origen had a very commanding lead in the composition that wants you to come into them with huge objective pressure with the Anivia changes, that she can kill Baron and Dragon very quickly, but there was a lot of poor setup around the Dragon, around the Baron, and you need to accelerate the game to take those early dragons faster, secure them on the dot so that you can build up that 5th dragon advantage with an AoE damage composition that has so much multiple threats with the Anivia and the Hurricane. 5th dragon is a huge win.
Spawn, I want to take a look at some of the hesitation that we've seen, particularly on the side of Flash Wolves. We have Stake on Malphite, who can set up any fight he wants, literally at the push of a button, and yet there was so much hesitation playing into the Anivia and the Kalista, there are many missed opportunities.
Yeah, there certainly was, and the one that jumped out was the last team fight where they were at the front, but there were also some team fights where he got it right. So let's look at what this team comp was supposed to do. So you can see right now, Origen are warding up Baron. They're trying to control that side. They've just had a bad trade in the mid lane. And Stake is teleporting in because he's behind the team and he thinks they can catch him out. And he just walks into the middle of them. And because of the walls, because of everything, you can see no one really knows where to go. Origen make one mistake there. They don't respect the flash out of Victor and they get completely crushed for it. And this is why you don't fight over terrain when Victor has flash, because he's able to transverse it and he's so quick outside of the team fight once it gets rolling. They pick up so many kills off the back of this. But Origen, to their credit, only let it happen once the whole game.
I feel though, it's like, even though Origen didn't let it happen, I feel Flash Wolves had so many opportunities. And that's why, on paper, I thought Flash Wolves had the better draft. Because, like, I was screaming my lungs out because I saw those opportunities when people were clumped up, and I was like, Steak, please. Just ult, you know? Boom.
And you only have to kill the Anivia in that team comp because you still have a Malphite, and Kalista has to put so many spears in the Malphite to take him out. As soon as you kill the Anivia, you can siege, you can pressure, you can poke, you have a Victor. They just could not pull the trigger on Peke for some reason. Neil's too much of a priority.
Well, one thing's for sure, it's a sweet 2-0 start for Origen in this series. The Flash Wolves are going to have to bounce back if they want to stay alive in this best-of series. We'll be back with a look at Game 3 in just a few minutes.
Just chill, dude. Just chill.
Why can't you chill?
Why don't we sit here and chill, dude? Why don't we just sit here and chill? Yeah. Why not? Play some League and chill? Yeah.
They're gonna eat him up. Spiders for lunch, and here we go. A bunch of burst comes in, forced to flash. Black Shield is on, and they're gonna turn back onto Amazing. There we go. A massive knockup, and here comes the chain CC and the damage. There come the resets, and Jinx is excited. Welcome them here.
No flash.
Take care of the Victor.
Elise after, Elise. Victor on me. Victor is low. You can fight.
Double lifesteal taking up a lot. Stuns don't mean enough, and the kills keep coming through. This could be a whitewash in the favor of Origen. Origen start their quarterfinals 2-0.